guys, today we're going to be talking about The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. It is a fantasy, but it's not like the dragons and fairies type of fantasy. It's more like immortality and curses sort of fantasy. It has a 4.19 rating on Goodreads, and it was the 2020 Book of the Year finalist. So it follows a woman, Addie LaRue, who is being forced into a marriage and a life that she doesn't want, and she's desperate. She's praying to all the gods to help her in any sort of way to get her out of this life. She wants freedom and time. She gets an answer, but it's not by one of the gods that she is intending. Since she asked for freedom and time, she's cursed with immortality. She can't say her name, write her name, so she's leaving no mark on the world. Until one day she goes into a bookstore, and there's this guy, Henry, who remembers her from the day before, and it's been 300 years since anybody has remembered her. So together they try to figure out and navigate the boundaries of her curse. So the story stretches over about 300 years. You start in the early 1700s and end in 2016. You do jump back and forth between centuries of her life, but it's organized in a way that you don't get disoriented and feel like you get to a chapter and you're like, oh, what am I reading about? I don't know. I never had any of that. It's also separated into multiple parts, which I think helps you keep track of where you are in the story and what century and what important things are going on in that time in her life. And at the beginning of those parts, there's artwork relating to that part of the story. Artwork is a common theme throughout this book. It's a way she can make somewhat of an impression, because even though she can't draw or write or say her name, she can leave a feeling or an idea in an artist's mind, and they can paint her or write a story about her. So that's how she kind of stays grounded and connected to the real world. So Luke is the one who grants her or curses her with the immortality. And throughout the story, her and Luke's relationship evolved from hate to love, back to hate. But I almost started liking him. He was, he's a sexy, brooding character, and he's fighting his own inner turmoil and loneliness, just like Addie. So I think that's what keeps that connection and him coming back. I was convinced all the way through the end that Luke really does love her. And to be honest, I kind of liked Luke and Addie's relationship a little bit more than Addie and Henry's relationship. It had more spice. Henry was great, but he was just very wholesome, and there wasn't that fire there. Oh, but when Henry remembered her and she had to, that moment of processing for her, I felt a frenzy inside. I wanted to like their relationship more though. I wanted to be excited to read more about them. And I also wanted more details about Henry and Robbie's relationship. I think that they should have been together. It was a really good read. I wanted to keep reading. I didn't want to put it down. I read somebody's review that said that it changed their life and the way they think about things they want in their life. And I wouldn't go as far as to say it changed my life, but I definitely kept me thinking, how many times have I thought, I wish people thought I was interesting and smart. What cost would I be willing to pay for that? And what would that really look like? So overall, I gave it a 4.5. I felt all of the feelings that she was feeling right along with her. I went back and forth with the ending though, in feeling like it was the perfect ending, and then, oh, I want a sequel. I want another book. I love how strong Addie ended up being in the end, and the villain ended up being the one in love. And so she holds all of the power secretly. So I would definitely recommend this book. It's one that keeps you thinking. It makes you turn in and be a little bit more introspective about things you want for your life. I want to know if you guys have read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue and what you think. This isn't a book that gets you high energy and excited. I've read a couple of books since I finished this one, and I still keep thinking about, I'll sit in bed and think, oh, I want something, and I'm like, what would I really be willing to sacrifice to have it? All right, guys, so I'll see you in the next video.